Welcome to the North Leeds Jitz Kids podcast. Thanks for coming on, mate. Why don't you tell me a little bit about comp training today?
We were just practicing our A game. We have a competition on Sunday.
Oh dear.
And pardon?
You got a competition on Sunday?
Yes. We were practicing what we're really good at, what makes us dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So we were practicing the fastest way we can get to that position that makes us dangerous. And then, yeah.
Do you still have to? Was it mainly technique, or did Ricky give you a rest on the exercise?
It was no exercise. It was
no
just
exercises today.
Technique.
Stay get fresh for a Sunday.
Yes.
So people might not understand what an A game is and a B game is. For you, what's your A game? What do you like to do in jiu-jitsu? What do you go for?
Well, I made a new game, so I would pull guard, start the fight, pull guard to Delahiva, reverse Delahiva, X guard, single leg X.
Yeah.
And then I would either go try sweep them, or if I'm Delahiva, I sweep them down and then go for a berimbolo and take that back.
Okay, yeah. So if someone's new to jiu-jitsu, that probably won't mean a lot, but that's pretty advanced stuff, and it's cool to hear you're mastering all that, mate. What about your B game? What's your B game then?
My B?
What happens if things start to go?
They pull guard first.
Yeah.
I most likely won't let them grab my collar. I keep my posture up, grab their knees, and keep a steady base. And then I'd probably go into HQ and then go for a knee slice. Is that your favourite guard pass? Is it the knee slice pass? One of my favourite.
Yeah. So why don't you tell, just so people get an idea of all the things you've done in jiu-jitsu, why don't you tell people about you're a Gracie Barra Ambassador, aren't you? Why don't you tell people, pretend I don't know anything about it, and then just tell me about it.
Wait, so you want me to tell you about the program?
Yeah, tell me about the program and what it does for you and what kind of things you get to do in the program.
Well, since COVID happened, we didn't do much, but I don't really know what happens though. You get to compete basically for Gracie Barra on a wider stage, don't you? So you need to. It's a bit stricter, isn't it? So you've got but they'll give you things like the uniform and stuff like that. And then, I'll give you a new uniform, new rash guard, new comp shirts and all.
Yeah. It's like you're being sponsored by Gracie Barra, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it also means that you've got to uphold some values, don't you? You got to make sure you're doing the right kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about when did you start jiu-jitsu? How old were you?
6.
6. And how old are you now? 11?
11, yeah.
Yeah. So that's almost. When are you 12?
This year, November.
Okay. So you'll be coming up on 6 years soon, man.
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel? Does it feel like it's gone quickly?
No, not at all.
Time passes so much slower when you're younger. What advice would you go and give to your 6-year-old self if you could go back and speak to him?
Maybe don't be silly or talk back to your coach or professor.
Was it your dad that wanted you to start jiu-jitsu, or did you have an idea of what it was?
My dad found the gym. He thought it was judo and all, and then Professor Pedro, he's our professor. He told my dad it was
this thing called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then my dad really wanted me to do it. And we live right next to the Jiu-Jitsu gym, so I started training on my first day, and it was really fun.
I appreciate it's quite a few years now, and you probably don't remember what your first day was. But do you remember like how you felt when you started training around that kind of first year and what it was like?
Well, my first day, I was really scared. I didn't know what to do. It was very, I was very nervous. So, but then, in between, halfway through the class, I started getting, having fun and all, and I started liking it a lot more.
What is it that you enjoy about Jiu-Jitsu so much?
Well, you can make loads of friends, and it's just overall a sport where you have to think a lot as well. It's good for thinking and all. So
you do a lot of problem solving in Jiu-Jitsu, don't you?
Yes.
Do you think about... Go on.
Because let's say I'm in guard and all, they might go for a guard pass, certain guard pass that you might not know, and you have to solve that straight away, what to do in that moment and all.
Yeah. And you say you've made a lot of friends in Jiu-Jitsu?
Yes.
Who are some of your best friends?
My friend Leo, he's higher than me, orange, white.
Yeah, you and Leo have some good roles though. That was always fun to watch.
I got Reggie, who's 3 years younger than me. He's improved at Jiu-Jitsu a lot.
Yeah.
And overall, he's really strong, physically strong and very mentally strong. Then I got, what's it called? Hugo, who's Leo's older brother, who I get along with really, really well.
Yeah.
And
do you feel like there's a difference between your friends you make at Jiu-Jitsu and your friends you make at school?
Well, yes. My friends in school, mostly we just talk about, school games and all, and sport. But at Jiu-Jitsu, it's mainly sport and sometimes school, but mostly just sport.
Yeah.
Overall, having fun with each other.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the competitions you've been to and how you've done.
Wait, do you want me to say my main competitions?
Yeah, say your main ones, and you've travelled all over competing, haven't you? Yeah, just what are the ones that really stand out to you and you think you might want to let our little champions know about and that kind of thing?
Well, this was my first, IBJJF tournament.
Yep.
It was in Melbourne, and it was called Pan Pacific. And this was in 2017. And I was only a grey belt, and it was my second year of doing jiu-jitsu. And everyone in my division was a yellow belt or higher. And they were all, bigger than me. I was so small. And then in my first fight, Ricky, who's my coach, he just told me to pull guard, a month or two ago. And I pulled guard in my first fight against a yellow black belt. And I didn't get a single sweep until the last second. It was 0-0 and 0-0 advantages.
Right.
Then I did a little tripod sweep on him in the last second and got an advantage and won.
Oh, excellent, man.
Then in my finals, it was this yellow belt. He was good, but I pulled guard, tripod sweeped him, passed his guard, mounted, and submitted him. And then,
what did you submit him with?
Armbar.
Nice. So you competed in Lisbon a few years ago, right? Or was it last?
Where's Lisbon? I forgot.
Portugal? Or was it Ireland you went to?
Ireland,
my bad. How was that?
Yeah, it was a good competition. It was a European competition. It was Europeans. How do I say it? I'll just call it Europeans.
Yeah, the championships, wasn't it?
European championships, yes. Yeah. And in the semi-finals, though I lost by submission that time of an armbar. And the rest of the fight, I came third. And then a few months later, or 2 months later actually, I went to Pan Am's in America, and which I won 2 fights by submission. And then in my third fight, which was the semi-finals, it was the same guy who I lost to by submission in Europeans. And I had a new game with knee shield back then. And then I couldn't get any inversions underneath and it was 0-0 to 1 advantage to me for attempting a takedown. And then I attempted another takedown. He took a mount for me for 1 second, and it was a 1-1 advantage with like 5 seconds left. So I tried going for another takedown and all, but I couldn't do it. And he won by referee's decision.
Oh, really?
Well, it was a really good comp, though.
Yeah. Do you feel like when you lose matches, you learn a lot too?
Yeah. Well, like what I can improve on in my game.
And what are the kind of things you've learned from losing? Do you learn it? Obviously, there's the technical things you can learn. Is there anything mentally that you learn as well?
Yes. So a few weeks ago, Ricky, he told us the 4 things you need to do when problem solving and trying to solve a problem. And the first one is wanting to do it. The second one is don't give up. And the third one is try to do it. And the fourth one is do it. So if I wanted to solve, let's say, a thing I was doing wrong, I'd have to want to solve it, which I'd always want to. And then I never give up solving it. And then I'd try do it. And then I'd finish and figure out what I've done wrong.
And do you appreciate, did Ricky tell you that's not just jiu-jitsu, that's just life as well?
Yes.
You can apply that same mentality that you learn in jiu-jitsu to every other problem. Other sports for sure. But everything you do, school, any other problems that you encounter in life, it's the same kind of process that you'll learn in jiu-jitsu, and the mentality there that will help you solve those problems. So that's really cool. Do you like the way Ricky teaches?
Yes. It's very smart.
Yeah. Smart.
He explains everything really well and technical.
Well, Ricky's quite very intelligent himself, isn't he? So
yeah, because he says, he's like, oh, what is God? And I'm like, we're all in comp class, we actually don't know how to explain it fully. So we just say some not random, we try to think and solve it. But then we eventually don't get it right. And then Ricky just explains it, and it's very hard to remember how he says it.
It's good that he asks you those questions though, isn't it? Because it makes you think.
Yes.
Do you feel like you've improved a lot since joining? How long have you been doing the comp team class?
2 years.
And has that changed a lot your jiu-jitsu?
Yes.
In what ways?
My game actually, a few 2 months ago, we were learning X guard and all, and I started trying it and all, and it started working really well. And Ricky taught me certain a really powerful position from there, which is almost a guaranteed sweep. It's a double pan grip from there, and then just standing up. And then you just hold them up and they can't stand up. So it's 2 points. And it's one of the things.
That's good. So you probably don't know, but do you have an idea of how many medals you have from competitions and stuff like that?
Yeah. Medals? Around 70 something. I don't know.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. How do you have so many medals?
I don't know.
If you had to explain what jiu-jitsu is to someone that doesn't know, maybe one of your school friends, how would you explain it?
I would explain it as purely just self-defense and all. And instead of punching or kicking someone, you'd like use self-defense, which we learn in jiu-jitsu, to like not hurt them, just stabilize them and hold them in a position till you can get help.
I like that. That's a good explanation.
And if you want to go compete and all, like all these other moves you can learn, like advanced and all, to compete and win, you know?
Do you feel like if someone picked on you at school or something, you'd be able to defend yourself?
Yeah. If someone picked on me at school, I wouldn't be that like mad or all. But if they come up throwing punches at me, I have to like, you know, stabilize them and get a teacher or something for help.
Mm. Do you find that you're more confident because you know jiu-jitsu?
Yes. 10 times more confident.
Really?
Than I was like a year ago.
Really, even more than just a year ago?
Well, yes, 5 years ago.
For sure.
Well, I've improved. I gained more confidence over the last year than I have in all the years in jiu-jitsu.
Is there any other kind of things you think jiu-jitsu helps you with apart from confidence?
Discipline. Like, you have to be disciplined and all.
And I'd say you're very disciplined, aren't you? Because how many times a week do you train?
Sometimes.
How many times a week do you train, Eric?
4 to 5.
Yeah. But you
and
also...
sometimes I used to have private training with Ricky every Sunday, so that counts as 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But now I'm not doing it because COVID.
Yeah.
Because like COVID started happening again.
Right. And then you also do, are you still doing a little bit of Muay Thai?
Yes.
And you also do a bit of training in the parks and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So you're training like every day, man. What about, do you think jiu-jitsu helps you at all at school?
Yes. I'll just stay more focused when like the teacher's like teaching and all.
Really?
Instead of getting distracted.
Wow. So you're outworking the teachers. They can't keep up with you, man. What other kind of things should we talk around jiu-jitsu? What do you think other little champions need to know?
Like, don't give up. Even if you like lose like a roll or something like that. Like, don't give up. Keep on trying until you beat that person.
Yeah, that's maybe a good topic we could talk about is when someone's new, they might not have developed the mentality yet of what it is like to lose to someone in jiu-jitsu, and they might be a bit worried, like, oh, I don't want to get choked, or I don't want to get armbarred or tapped out. But it's okay, isn't it? Yeah,
it's okay. Just always try your hardest and all. As long as you're having fun, that's all that matters.
Yeah, like, you don't get hurt, do you?
If there's someone better than you and all, and they're, trying to choke you, and they're going to choke you, just don't give up. Don't let them choke you and all. And if they choke you, and be ready to not let them choke you again.
Yeah, that's one of the good things, isn't it? You don't get hurt. So once they beat you and you tap, or you beat them and they tap, it's just, tap, bump, and you go again, no problems. And then usually after the roll, it's all, having a laugh, like, oh, that move you did was great, and they'll say the same kind of things to you and just have a laugh.
Yeah.
So, Eric, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think what new kids in jiu-jitsu might like to learn.
I don't know. They might want to learn what's it called?
What do you think the first thing they should focus on is?
Start by learning self-defense and learn like all the main positions in jiu-jitsu, like mount, side control, and like closed guard, which was what I learned when I first started. Maybe that's what they should learn when, and self-defense as well. Learning
the basics first, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, this past week, because we can't train properly at the moment, we've been running some Zoom classes, and we've just been working on some like really fundamental basics, like doing a bridge and a hip escape,
So when they come to learning, mount escapes or side control escapes and things like that, they'll already kind of know the movements.
Yeah.
Eric, well, I think we've covered quite a lot there, and these are quite short podcasts, so we'll call it time. And if you ever want to come on again and talk more about jiu-jitsu and help our little champions out, or if any of the little champions or parents listening want me to fire a question at Eric, I can message him and get him to do a little video for us or something. You be up for that?
Yeah.
Excellent, man. Cool, Eric. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Can you also, it wasn't because of COVID that I didn't do a private. It's because I had a knee injury.
Okay, right. What happened to your knee?
Oh, there was like this little thing, I don't know, with cartilage and all, and I don't know what happened. But now it's all good, so.
Happy days, mate. Okay, well, what I'll do is we'll finish the podcast here, Eric. We'll say bye, but then if you stay on the chat, I'll catch up with you and just see if you want me to change anything. All right? Cheers for coming on the podcast, mate.